Before I start this video, I just want to acknowledge the situation in India. I think it's serious enough. So please stay safe. Don't step out unless you really have to, and please, for the love of God, wear a mask if you're stepping out. I'm currently in Bangalore. There's going to be a lockdown for the next 2 weeks. I think starting day after tomorrow. So yeah, please follow the lockdown protocol and just be safe. Keep your family safe, and we'll all get through this together. I know we can, uh, but we got to take our precautions in order to do so. That being out of the way, the NBA doesn't stop. So let's talk about the Eastern Conference and how weird it's been this season. By the way, I also want to address that this is not a creepy dungeon or anything. This is just my room. It's not very well lit, and I have a light right over there coming on my face. So apologies for that. I mean, I could put the tube light, but it's all the way there. You know. Yeah, all of you can play. So yeah, coming to the Eastern Conference. So this year there are three teams that are going to be contending for the finals, and I don't think any other team other than these three really have a chance. The three teams I'm talking about, of course, are the Knicks, the Nets, and I mean not the Knicks. What am I saying? No, I mean the Knicks are good this season, but I don't know why I just said the Knicks. Okay, I mean the Nets, the Bucks, and the Sixers. So and we'll be talking about all the other teams, and I think except the Cavs, the Magic, and the Pistons, every other team has a chance to go in for the play-in tournament and stay in the playoffs. And so let's just go over these teams. So I'm gonna start with the mid-tier teams first. Actually no, let me start with the play-in teams first. So let's go with the Toronto Raptors. So the the Raptors have been picking it up as of late. They had a very slow start to the season. Pascal Siakam did not look like the star he was last season, but overall he's been picking it up. Fred Van Vliet, even though he is not shooting very efficiently from the field, he has been really aggressive. He's been making his threes. I mean, most of what he does is shoot threes, but then he has really stepped up his game. And Kyle Lowry has kind of been in and out of the lineup, but then when he has been in, he's been a huge factor for Toronto's wins. So can the 2019 champions make the playoffs this year? I'm going to bet against it because there are other teams I want to talk about, and I think they have a better chance to make the play. First of all, they have to make the play-in tournament to make the playoffs. So, yeah. Coming to the Chicago Bulls, yeah, they're not going to make it. Yeah, that's nothing much to say. They're not playing well at all. They're losing to teams that are tanking right now. So, yeah, they don't have a chance. So now let's talk about the teams that actually have a chance. One is the Washington Wizards, who have been on a tear lately. Russell Westbrook has been doing Russell Westbrook things, putting up triple doubles. I mean, he's having bad shooting games from time to time, but overall, I think this last couple of months he's just been absurd. He's had like a 37-point game. He had a 44-point game a while back, but he's just been ridiculous. Bradley Beal, of course, really important to this team, and surprisingly, the defense has kind of improved. And it's not any individual player or anything I can point to. It's just the team defense overall has just improved. Westbrook and Beal putting more effort on defense, and the other team is just following that. And on offense, they are kind of a struggle. Like Davis Bertans can be very inconsistent. I think Denny Advia just went out with injury, so that's pretty sad. But I would be intrigued with the Nets versus Wizards first round matchup because that would be a really good matchup. I mean, I don't know how James Harden's going to be when he comes back. I mean, I don't know when he's coming back. I don't think there's a timetable for that. But that's going to be a very. I don't think the Wizards are going to beat the Nets, obviously, but it's going to be a very good first round matchup nonetheless. But anyway, they'll have to make the play-in. And finally, I'll be talking about my team, the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, so it was a disappointing season nonetheless because I really had high expectations for this team. Although, yeah, like a lot of it was injuries, a lot of it was the old depot trade happening, all that. But overall, the ninth seed is not what I expected coming into the season. Oh, but overall, they have. I still think they can make the playoffs, like depending on which team they face, and assuming everyone's because Malcolm Brogdon has been really good. Karis LeVert has been pretty good. I mean, he's been kind of consistent since he come back from injury, but I mean not injury. I mean his kidney thing, which thank God he's all right. But overall, they've been pretty decent. So now let's talk about one of the most fun teams about that is the Charlotte Hornets. They don't have Lamelo Ball. They don't have Gordon Hayward. And according to me, those were the two best players this season. All due respect to Terry Rozier, he's been really good, but Lamelo and Gordon Hayward are their best players. But even without them, they've kind of been holding their own. Terry Rozier has been really good. Devontae Graham, even though he's been consistent, has been good, has been showing flashes of being decent. PJ Washington is one guy you should really pay attention to. And of course, there's Miles Bridges. I mean, Miles Bridges, the thing is, he's not. I won't say he's improved. I mean, he has improved a lot, but I won't say his improvement is due to Lamelo Ball, like a lot of people suggest. But all this team is fun to watch. I don't think they're most likely going to get swept if they face the Nets or Sixers in the first round. So, but either way, it's just a fun team to watch. They have a bright future ahead. Coming to the next the seventh seed right now, and that is the defending Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat. First one, I'm just gonna say the Heat were not frauds. They were really good last year in the playoffs. But although this season has been rather disappointing, a lot of it was health and safety protocols in the beginning, and a lot of it is due to dear Lord, my hand is white. Sorry, a lot of it is due to health and safety protocols in the beginning, and a lot of it is also due to injuries. Jimmy Butler, when he's been playing, has actually been a huge positive impact on the Heat. But no, so Jimmy and Bam have been consistent. But the thing is, Tyler Hero. See, Tyler Hero is a good player. But the thing about Tyler Hero is he is not going to be as good. He's not going to be a superstar one day. I'm pretty confident in saying that. Like, Mike bar for a superstar is like really high. Currently, I only consider like 5 or 6 players superstars. So, them not if the reports were true and they didn't trade for James Harden because they didn't want to trade for Hero, that was a mistake. There's no other way of putting it. But even otherwise, this team has been rather disappointing, especially for a team that just made the finals last season. And as a seventh seed, they most likely, I mean, if the season ended today, they'll be playing the Sixers in the first round. It will still be an interesting matchup. So any 1 versus 8 matchup can be interesting, or 2 versus 7 matchup. So there's no guarantee here. Because the he do match up well with the Sixers and the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks, they did beat them last year, and if the Heat do face the Bucks this season, I will be tempted to pick the Heat again, despite them having a down year this year. Yes, they don't have Jay Crowder, who was a big part of that defensive scheme they're putting on Giannis, but even then, Bam Adebayo can still guard. Yeah, they can put out Iguodala and Jimmy Butler and still form a sort of a wall, but even though and yeah, but coming to I'll talk about the Bucks later. But even then, Drew Holiday, I mean, the Miami Heat, have I mean, sometimes they have shown flashes of their greatness that they showed last season, but this season has been rather disappointing. But overall, they're just a pretty solid team. Coming to 6 here, another disappointing team, the Boston Celtics. I just feel the Celtics have these weird runs where they're like really good, and then they have these stretches where they're like really bad. Like there's no mediocrity, there's no in between with this team. So they're just either really good or really bad. And again, we can't predict anything in a playoff series. So the as of the season today, they're facing the Bucks, and the Bucks versus Celtics. I really don't know. I mean, I would pick the Bucks because they're just a better team. But overall, Kemba has been really inconsistent. Actually, overall, everyone's been inconsistent except Jalen Brown has been kind of decent. But overall, Jason Statham has been scoring a lot, but then he has been kind of inconsistent as well. So coming to the fifth seed, the Atlanta Hawks, another really fun team to watch, and another team riddled with injuries. Despite that, they have exceeded expectations. Danilo Gallinari was out, missed a lot of time with injury. Bogdanovich missed a lot of time with injury. I think these are the two main guys. Another guys, I think Kevin Huerter was there throughout, and DeAndre Hunter has missed time now. Cam Reddish, who are all starting the season off really well, and the fact that Trey Young doesn't have to do everything for them this season, really helps. And Trey Young and John Collins are kind of struggling with their chemistry in the beginning, but now they've actually kind of got it to work. So good for them. And again, I don't think I still think the Celtics and Heat are better. Like in a playoff series, I would pick the Celtics and the Heat over the Atlanta Hawks, but I won't be surprised if they take on because right now they'll be facing the Knicks, who I'll come to a little bit, the biggest surprise of the season. But right now, I won't be surprised if the Hawks can like make a statement in the playoffs, like kind of like the Mavs did last season. Like they weren't real contenders or anything, but then they did really hold their own against the Clippers. And the Clippers of fraud last season. What am I talking? Anyway, coming to the Knicks. So the biggest surprise of the season so far. By the way, before I say anything, Tom Thibodeau should be given Coach of the Year. Like the Knicks don't go from one of the worst teams in the league to like the fourth seed in the East. By like, and there were not many roster changes as well. It was like really good coaching. So he should get win Coach of the Year. That's just kind of obvious at this point. And they're the number one defense without having like any spectacular defenders. Like don't get me wrong, the players are playing great defense, but before the season, I didn't consider any of these players like spectacular defenders. Julius Randle he's definitely the most improved player in my eyes, Even though he was really good, like coming into the season, I never thought Julius Randle would take his game to this level. All right. So now coming to the three contenders, I have the Bucks, the Sixers, and the and the Nets. So let's talk about the Bucks first. So the Bucks have not been as dominant as they've been the last couple of seasons. Although I still think on paper their team's a little better. So because main reason is Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is like I mean his replacement Eric Bledsoe is perfect. Like Eric Bledsoe is a good shooter. Drew Holiday is a good shooter. Both them can make decent playmakers, and both them are really good defenders. Only the difference is Drew Holiday exceeds his play in the playoffs, and Eric Bledsoe kind of sucks in the playoffs. So that would really help the Bucks because they've been struggling in the playoffs in the last 2 years, and hope Drew Holiday really helps that. Coming to the 76ers side of things, so I don't think the Ben Simmons treatment would really work on this team. Like, not like Ben Simmons is going to drive or anything, but he can just pass it out. He'll give it to Embiid, and because their offense system will be completely different. If there's a second for coach of the year, I would actually give it to Doc Rivers. I mean, Dal Moy has done a pretty good job on getting Seth Curry and Danny Green for just spreading out the floor. But then having these shooters open, and I mean, we are considering Danny Green is going to make his shots in the playoffs. And but considering that, I really think the 76ers have a good chance. Now, speaking of the Nets, so talent wise, like you have KD, Kyrie, and Harden. If all three are healthy, I don't think anyone can really. Who's going to really stop all three of them? Like if you overcome it to one, the other two are going to be open. Like these are three best offensive scorers, like three of the best offensive scorers of all time, and like they're all on the same team. So that's going to be a big problem. But obviously, we all know about the Nets' defensive issues. But the main issue I see is the three of them have not really played together. They played like what 7 games together. Like it's I'm not talking about egos or anything. I'm just saying actually playing together like really helps you like understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. But even when it comes to the matchups, I think the Bucks have a good matchup against the both the Bucks and the Sixers have a good matchup against the Nets. I mean, not like they can be stopped or anything, but you can have Giannis on KD, you can have Middleton on Harden, and you can have Joe Holiday and Kyrie. And in the Sixers side of things, you can have Embiid guard in the paint, Ben Simmons guarding KD. I think Matisse Thybulle can guard James Harden, and Danny Green can't really guard Kyrie, but then you can have some switches over there. But yeah, overall, it's going to be a good matchup. I am not giving my prediction yet. I'm going to wait for the season to get over to give my official prediction every single round. So yeah, these are my that's all. That's my take on the Eastern Conference. And please subscribe. Thank you.